Good morning and welcome to Weekends with Whitney. It was 6 months ago that we were still coming to grip with a historic flooding aftermath. Folks were coming in from all over to help us muck out homes so we could start the rebuilding process. There were other folks who came to our aid, giving us their talents in the gift of music. Standing by South Louisiana, the legendary Mickey Gilley. He helped bring Red Stick together. See nearly a dozen other music stars who joined him to lift us in song.
And if the sky you look upon should ever crumble and fall.
Also on this morning's show, we'll take you behind the scenes of the movie DOA Blood River. We'll meet the stars and take the pulse of Louisiana's movie industry this year. Then Dr. Nick explains why Lent is important for more than religious reasons. But we begin with an incredible show of South Louisiana once again pulling together. Here's a look back at the healing power of coming together, and at least for one day, putting down the shovels and the hammers to unite.
I'm so in love with you. It just keeps getting better. I want to spend the rest of my life.
Music has an amazing healing power all its own.
Let it be. Hey, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Yeah, let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be.
Music Grammy winners and superstars put on a free 10-hour concert Sunday for South Louisiana flood victims. More than a dozen musicians, like John Conley, hit the stage in downtown Baton Rouge.
For those of you who were victims of the flood, you remain in our prayers and our thoughts, and we're glad to be a part of something that hopefully will show you that some folks want to put their arms around you and love you and lift you up, and help you rebuild.
The day, the sentiment, and the shared moments meant a lot to flood victims, like police officer Clifton Brown. His Denham Springs home filled with 4 feet of water.
How does it feel to have all these people come in here to support people like you who flooded?
I think a lot of the folks out there, I know a lot of them are from the community where I live at, and they're in the same boat we are. And this is like an uplifting thing. Hey, we need to get out there and just say, let's put the sheetrock knife down for a day and let's go out and listen to some good old country music.
Clifton is also a musician. Not only did he get to hear some great music, he got to play it.
But here in the afterlife, it's like a bachelor pad paradise, with lots of parties and poker and friends coming over. I'm drinking beer all night. Sometimes.
The Afterwife is one of the songs on his new album, released just a few days before the flood. Water ruined more than half of them, along with plans for his big album release party.
We didn't expect it to get that high. We took everything that we thought was valuable and we put it on top of the counters, on top of our beds. Everything went under. I lost a bass, a piano, I lost my recording studio. We lost all of our photo albums. That hurt.
That hurts.
That hurt. All my kids' pictures and stuff, you can't never replace that.
They lived with neighbors before moving into a camper.
It was sad because where we were at, we just watching the water go through our house. I think there was 18 of us in the house for 3 days, and we had no toilets, no air conditioning, But you know what? We survived it.
This day also celebrated those who helped others survive, like the Cajun Navy. Actor and singer John Schneider was so inspired by the group, he wrote a song about them for his new upcoming album.
So hang on, Louisiana, you can bet we got your back. No bureaucratic BS gonna stop us in our tracks. 'cause when that water rises, we'll be back again with a Cajun Navy from South Louisiana.
The Cajun Navy came to John's aid too. His Livingston Parish home and movie studio filled with floodwater.
I want you to know that I have never, ever seen tragedy bring together a community and a people like I've witnessed myself over the last 6 weeks.
He's also seen what hasn't been done. So he wrote a special song for FEMA too.
'Cause we're all flying fingers, everybody, for FEMA. And FEMA, that don't mean you're number one. So why don't you take my letter that you just marked tonight and stick it where the sun won't ever shine, shine, shine. So from all of
The FEMA frustrations, gut-wrenching rebuilding, and physical fatigue are why artists like Mark Chestnut dropped everything to drop in.
We're glad that we can come down here and help bring a little happiness to some people and hopefully get something else on our minds, because there's a lot of people still struggling. I don't know how I would cope with something like that, but these people show you how to do it because they're strong. They're not going to let nothing get them down.
Oh, should have done this and should have done that. Should have been there and should have never left. Should have been hand on every word she ever had to say. But it's a little too late, she's a little too gone. She's a little too right, I'm a little too wrong. Now would be a good time to change, but it's a little too late.
Mark's close friend, Tracy Bird, made the trip here from Texas too.
One round with Jose Cuervo, I caught my boots, tapping along with the beat. And after 2 rounds with Jose Cuervo, that band was sounding pretty damn good to me.
The man who banded everyone together for this, Scott Ennis.
It's very persistent and annoying. And you finally just give up and go, all right, Scott, if you'll quit calling, quit emailing, I'll come do it. Yeah.
Scott put all of this together in just 3 weeks, and free was key.
They don't have $20. They're buying sheetrock. They're rebuilding. They need this done. And I couldn't do this without the city of Baton Rouge, Mayor Kip Holden, all these great sponsors that came together. All the country stars said, we're there, we're there, we're there, we're there. And we have a party in South Louisiana. Dude, there's 15,000 people out here, and they're just loving it, man.
Did you have to pay the artists?
Very, very little. Gas money. That's all. And these guys get tens of thousands of dollars. And they all came for little stuff.
I love it.
So that's what it's about.
The man Scott's especially thrilled to get here,
Mickey Gillick.
I just celebrated my 80th birthday this year. 80 years old and still kicking it down the road.
This guy was in a wheelchair a year ago. Couldn't move. He took a fall. They didn't think he'd walk again. And that guy was on that stage shaking it.
And all the girls all get prettier in closing time. Now they all begin to look like movie stars. Now the girls all get prettier in closing time.
together they raise spirits and money.
These rose-colored glasses.
John Conley auctioned off his rose-colored glasses and brought in $4,000. John Schneider's autographed guitar fetched $4,000, and so did this one, signed by all the musicians who raised their voices for Red Stick.
Lord, how do you stop the water?
Shenandoah's Marty Rabin.
Once again, it just shows the heart of America, how it comes out to help its own. Y'all ready, Red Stick? We're rocking all night, don't you know? You gotta get me to the church on the Cumberland Road.
The audience and artist Aaron Tippin moved each other.
I pledge allegiance to this flag. If that bothers you, well, that's too bad. But if you got pride and you're proud you do, hey, we could use some more like me and you.
Stirring the crowd too, LaRue with their #1 hit.
New Orleans lady, sassy style that will drive you crazy, and they hold you like the night. Hugs awake when the candles burning, them Creole baby, thin and brown, sometimes lazy, they rise like a river, yeah. A little way lasts forever.
Closing out the starry night, Lone Star.
You know, I can't think of a better song to send out to all the folks, Baton Rouge and in this area that are affected by the flood. You know, the good Lord, He doesn't give you more than you can handle. And this song talks about that. You got to climb those mountains. You know, when you get down, knocked down on your butt, you know what? You got to get back up. There are times in life when you got to crawl, lose your grip, trip and fall. You can't lean on no one else. It's when you find yourself. I've been around and I know the sign. Walking's easy when the road is flat, and dang no hills get you every time. Yeah, the good Lord gave us mountains so we could learn how to climb. God bless America and Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
It was an incredible event. And still to come, lights, camera, action. The small town of Springfield transforms into a movie set. We'll take you behind the scenes of DOA Blood River. Then Dr. Nick explores why Lent is important mentally, regardless of your religion, as Weekends with Whitney continues.
Who says an old dog can't learn new tricks?
Do you want to learn how to inspire? Learn to fly?
Or learn how to drive?
Take a run around this park.
Or this park?
Or this park? And we'll teach you how to dance.
And reach for the sky.
No matter your age, Breck offers classes to keep you moving, learning, and having fun.
Visit Breck.org and see how together we've made Breck better than imagined.
Welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. The independent film Moonlight won the Oscar for Best Picture this week. Well, recently filmed in Louisiana is another indie film that hopes to be at the Academy Awards next year as well.
Most movies are written, then they scout out a location for it. But for one of the few times in movie history, director and screenwriter Stephen Cyrus Shepard says Springfield and the Tickfall River dictated the script.
And based on the locations, I sat down and wrote a script in about 3 weeks. The environment is its own character.
DOA Blood River is inspired by the 1950s film noir classic DOA, starring Edmund O'Brien.
Well, listen about some other people, Captain.
We're not a remake. We took it and we twisted it in this whole other direction. And so I think it's got a mental thing. You got a lot of characters. A lot of people can relate to different things. It's a time-taking thriller. And it's about a man trying to provide for his family, and then he gets caught up in this ring of, corruption. And you never know who is doing what to him.
It's a talented cast, including Krista B. Allen, who starred in ABC's Revenge.
I'm trying to make up for lost time.
And Baby Daddy.
Could you be any more childish?
I don't know. Let's see.
In this, she plays a stripper. What attracted you to this role?
I liked that Jessie, you know, she's essentially this kind of stripper with a heart of gold character, but she's not written so flat like often the sexy girl in like an action film is. She has a bit of depth, and I really like that.
Krista added an artistic element of her own too, an aerialist stripper.
So she was written as a stripper, you know, like standard on the pole. And I spoke to the director, Stephen, and I said, look, I have this skill that I just kind of cultivate in my spare time. Do we want to use it? Does it work? Is she an aerial stripper? Maybe yes, maybe no. And I think it worked out really, really well. It lends itself, you know, it's such a fluid kind of art, so it lends itself to being quite sexy.
She's a great actress, you know, she knows what she's doing with her character. I casted her in this because I thought she brings a certain value to the film as an actress. You know, she has this vulnerability, but at the same time she could be this stripper.
Tyson Sullivan brings his own unique heat too. He and Stephen first worked together alongside Robert De Niro in the movie Heist.
How much? Come on, let's go, hurry!
I play the bad guy, I'm the villain in it, and I saw something in him. I love playing bad guys.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. And I saw something in him that you know, we could all relate to, and so that's what really kind of brought me into this, was trying to you know, bring that humanity into a character.
Tyson's loved playing different characters all his life.
It's pretty crazy to make a living doing what you did when you were a little kid and playing pretend. You know what I mean? Like, my mom tells a story. I used to be in, like, every day I'd go to my closet in my room and like put on outfits and like make things and like just play by myself. And so, you know, to be able to do that as a grown-up and make a living at it is pretty insane.
For Days of Our Lives soap star Billy Flynn, this is his first starring role in a full feature film. He says it's a complete 180 from acting inside a studio lot.
That article you wanted to write? Let's do it.
And there's been some tough times. I mean, it challenges you as an actor, and some things that you kind of thought that you had figured out, and then you realize that there's different lessons to be learned and more to figure out. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to whatever comes next and doing it better.
All agree nothing could be better than shooting here.
It's amazing. It's what I call, it's like God's country.
Kind of like the purest sense of Louisiana, it feels like, with the bayous and the moss on the trees and just small towns. I don't know, there's something really cool about that, genuineness. I really appreciate, this part of Louisiana really kind of taking us under their wing and letting us experience, kind of the greatness that you guys have here.
And I have to say that it feels like a studio backlot, because you cannot literally build this kind of stuff. It takes way too long to do this on a studio lot. It's natural, it's been seasoned here for 20 years, and you just come and shoot it, and then it's something really special, and I think we've captured that pretty well in this film.
However, this film almost was stopped dead in the water. Executive producer Rory Fredella says the August flood soaked their original plans to shoot in September.
All the homes, with the infrastructure we had in place was impacted. My home had 5 feet of water. My office had, several feet. Other places that we were going to utilize and other friends that were going to contribute. Everybody was impacted. Everybody's world just turned upside down. You went from just your day-to-day existence to instantly having to rebuild your life. So,
pulling it all back together was somewhat of a miracle.
But as soon as things settled down, we jumped right back in. So within 6 months from script to film, I've never done it that fast. But I have to tell you, Johnny Garrett is a cinematographer on this. We used some amazing cameras and lenses on this. We're using the same stuff they use in Magnificent Seven. I mean, it's pretty sick stuff, and the movie looks incredible. So I'm really proud, and I can't wait to show it to the audience.
The movie is set to release later this year, and as soon as that date is announced, I'll be sure to let you know. And still to come, Dr. Nick explains the importance of Lent in all of our lives, regardless of religion, as Weekends with Whitney continues.
Maggio, the only way to go. Maggio Buick GMC, your satisfaction's our specialty. We really deliver on Falls River, here in New Roads. Small town atmosphere.
fear, legendary service for over 60 years. Maggio, the only way to go. The only way to go, that's Maggio.
9-time winner of the prestigious Buick GMC Mark of Excellence Award. I hope all of you had a happy Mardi Gras, which lands us, of course, in the season of Lent. And while some may think it is really just a Catholic religious event, it's universal, but it is also mental. So says Dr. Nick, who joins us with more.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And that's very true. That's
yes,
very true.
Of course, the Catholic religion really embraces it, but I know the Methodists and other religions also really embrace Lent. But even for those who don't go to church or they're not especially religious, you say there's something in here for them.
Well, you know, we ask ourselves when we go underneath the actual and into what it might be that caused the Catholic Church to do this. It has to do with habits and changing habits and fasting and abstaining. And when you think about that mentally, doesn't it make sense to look at one's habits once a year?
Yes.
To look at one's attitudes that we just kind of automatically do. To look at some of the things that maybe need subtracting.
That's what I was going to say. Also a bit of sacrifice in there, right?
It's definitely a period of sacrifice. But again, what could be healthier to one's mentality and one's spirituality? Whitney, I have struggled all of my professional life with these hard and fast distinctions between healthy spirituality and mental health. They're just not that separable to me. Because when I think of spiritual, I also think of what's healthy to the body and for the mind and for the world. It's all connected, but it's also because we live in this world and there's a spirituality to this world and there's a divine pull in this world. So we ask ourselves, okay, what might be getting in the way of the divine? Alcohol? Too much work? Too much internet, too much cable TV, too much eating sweets,
too much noise,
noise in life. It's just a wonderful 40-day season, and I know we're into it already three or 4 days, but it still is. We've got plenty of time to sit back and say, what might I do differently in this 40 days that will change my outlook on life?
Well, you're doing something that I think is lovely. You're doing several things, but let's talk about the bowl. Oh, wait, and let's also say that they say that the Lent on Sundays you can escape from it.
Well, I just think that's great because Lent, the 40 days just excludes Sunday because Sunday's supposed to be a day of, okay, I can eat.
Yes.
You know, or I might have that cigarette. I'm just saying, or I might have that extra cup of coffee if I've cut down to one.
Yes, I might have that dessert that
I might have dessert that day.
Yeah. So everyone can start anew tomorrow on Monday.
Yes, yes, and have Sunday to look forward to enjoy it, but not again to become so attached that it's overtaking our life.
Yes. Yeah, great discipline in that.
Well, you know,
you can break it on Sunday, but then back on it Monday. It's kind of like a diet.
Yeah, we'll get into the bowl, but think about how close habits and addiction.
Oh, sure.
When I said it's mental.
Yeah.
Okay, not that we're going to focus on addiction, but we're talking about maybe subtracting and adding. And I did a bowl. I did a bowl Wednesday. I got out of a bowl and I wrote down 40 people that had made a difference in my life over the last 62 years. And it was hard because there really were more than 40.
Sure.
And I'm just saying, when I think of all these people that touched my life in one way or another.
And so you started at the beginning from a child.
Okay. Like I was thinking of my godmother who's not around, but her daughter is. So she got in the bowl.
Great.
But I folded them up because I didn't want there to be a priority. I didn't want to bother with, okay, if I call her today and I call him next week, he'll think he's 7th. So I did it to where it's whatever I pull, that's the person I'm going to call that day and spend a few minutes with and just catch up and say, I'm thinking of you, missing you. Thank you for being in my life. And there are a couple in there that we are kind of on the outs, you know, because relationships can break. But I'm going to call.
Oh, I love it.
And there may be a connection or there may not be. Don't you think you have some people in your life that you don't know if there's a connection anymore?
Sure.
May have been a little bit.
Or there is, but why? Wow, you
or
haven't talked to me
just
10 or 15 years. Or that great high school teacher who meant so much to you.
Sure.
Who you hope is still around.
I just think it's fun. It's fun.
I think it's a great idea. And I also like the chance, the coincidence in the whole thing, which is that maybe that day that you pulled out someone's name, they really needed to hear from somebody.
Yes.
And it's especially important. And I can't wait for you to report back.
Yes.
Because I'm sure there will be a few of those, and I'd love to share those stories.
There's going to be, and of course, you'll never know what day you'll get the call.
Oh, that's right. That better be one of your 40 now.
But that's just an example, Whitney. I think we get so caught up in, okay, I'm going to stop smoking, or I'm going to go to Mass every day, or those kind of regular, dogmatic almost. But think of something that's really unique to you, that would really be helpful to you. If the internet really is in your way, and if the QVC, is that it? I don't ever watch it. If that really is in the way, let it go and add something that would be more constructive and service-oriented and making a difference in the world. I think it's a great period.
I do too. Thank you so much, Dr. Nick. More of Weekends with Whitney after this.
Atlas Foundation Repair, fixing your foundation problems for more than 30 years while preserving and protecting your trees.
Thanks for joining us on this morning show. We hope to see you back here again next week. Until then, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Or if you'd like to see this or any other of our shows, you can go to my YouTube channel, Weekends with Whitney, or my website, weekendswithwhitney.net. I hope you have a great week. This morning, we leave you with this.
Love and happiness. But wait a minute, something's going wrong. Someone's on the phone. 3 o'clock.